Hello, I'm Alexis Rand, self-proclaimed expert on the supernatural and weird, and it's Halloween time. Or, honestly, it's October 1st. And that's when these things start happening. Frankly, I'm going to start decorating, so who am I to say anything? And why am I here after this channel has been fairly quiet for a while? It's because the other guy, yeah, I'm pointing at you, has been very busy with stuff. And he kind of went to a convention one weekend, so that ate up some time. And why am I here? Because, again, Halloween season. And since he doesn't have anything to do for this channel for a while, he wants me to do my supernatural tips. But here's the twist. One for each day of the month. So I'm going to be fairly busy. So let's get started with our first supernatural tip for October. Let's start with something with zombies. How do you deal with zombies? You've probably watched the movies, you probably know this already. Destroy the head, chop up the brain. It's like, that is Zombie 101. Do I really need to say that? Alright, here's a few more things on how to deal with zombies. Alright, there's a lot of types of zombies. You got your basic viral infection you see in 28 Days Later or whatever, where blood, contact, bite, it will pass on the infection. It's like a super rabies that pretty much just desiccates you. And then there's the magical type of zombies, which usually are reanimated corpses. Well, that gets a little trickier. Okay, with the magic there, you're literally just moving the zombies. You're imbuing them with something to make them move to your will. The problem is, you think, hey, let's just knock out that necromancer. Yeah, that's not a good idea. Their will is the only thing keeping those zombies under control. Zombies are very instinctual creatures. They don't have minds or thoughts, but they still run on the instincts, like, I need to eat. That's where you get the bitey from. So if you knock out the guy controlling them, they'll just bite everything in sight. I did not mean to rhyme that on purpose. Alright, so what do you do with those kinds of zombies? Yeah, that's a bit tougher. You can get the necromancer, but you have to get them to shut them down, which could be a little difficult. Otherwise, you kind of just gotta destroy the whole thing. But here's the good news about zombies. They're not that tough. Look, humans aren't generally super strong or impressive creatures overall. The thing about zombies is they're kind of worse. Once, to make a zombie, the person's got to be dead. Usually a bit of body deterioration happens. Little rigor mortis. And when, they start rotting away, especially in the heat. And when it gets cold, actually they run a little better in the cold. So try not to get stuck in a zombie apocalypse in Alaska. That's gonna blow. The cold will eventually freeze them, but it'll take a little bit of time. But like I said, dealing with zombies. If it's in a hot place, they're gonna start bloating. They're gonna smell real rank. That's gonna be a real telltale sign they're close. And again, they're not that fast. The bacterial zombies aren't going to be like 28 Days Later. They're not going to run fast. They're going to start deteriorating, falling apart, and you're going to be pretty safe on those. Just try to keep your distance. They're going to start getting bloated and squishy. Easy to crack open that skull. And that sounded terrible. As for the magical type of zombies, they usually get a bit of buff. They get a little reinforcement from that magic, so they're a little harder to put down. But like I said, once the necromancer's down, they just become reanimated. That takes the level down. So, yeah. Okay, if you really have to deal with zombies, here's a few things that generally work. Fire. Fire bad for zombies. Just cremate them. They burn pretty easily. Chopping, that helps. Generally, even the magical ones won't turn you with a bite. But you don't want to get bitten. That's going to mess you up. There's a bit contamination things, and it won't be pretty. So don't get bitten. I prefer to for zombies fight from a distance. Guns work well. Remember, headshots. I know the heads aren't exactly the easiest target to hit, but you got something there, people. And again, flamethrowers. They're easy to make with. I'm not gonna tell you how to make them because I am sure YouTube's gonna find me. So yeah, that's it. Zombies aren't that big of a deal. They're really slow. They're not all that strong. Most of the bacterial types, they respond to sound because the eye rots away pretty quickly. So you don't have to worry about that. They're bloated, squishy. If you get them in round heat, they start falling apart. Most animals, like vultures and like bugs, will take care of them. Honestly, the whole zombie apocalypse, if it's not magic oriented, if it's just a bacterium virus thing, yeah, that's not really a big issue. Okay, I'm gonna be frank with you. They've happened, like taking over cities before, usually at night when like people didn't know it was happening and it just got out of hand real quick. Those places were quarantined and taken care of, like real quick. Like military doesn't want to say zombie, but when they realize shit's going down, they just like wipe it out. Heck, in 1994 we had a zombie thing here in Los Angeles. It was like just like an inner city school. Some gang members actually took care of that. They fortified it. They took them out, and then yeah, I don't know. I want to say zombies settled the whole feud between those gangs, but they came together to kill the undead. There's a lesson there. Probably not a good one, but there you go. Alright, so since I'm going to have to be doing one of these every day for the month, please comment below and give me a suggestion of something you'd like to hear about, something you want to know how to deal with, and I'll try to do my best to get to them all. Of course, we have 30 more days, so I think that's a pretty good shot. Until next time, I'm out. I got stuff to do. October's a busy month for me.